Hello, fellow traders. Dadas here, speaking to you from the Dadas trading room on the Discord platform. And today is Tuesday, 19th May, and it's time for another daily recap of what happened today on the DAX 30 market that I am trading. Okay, so let's switch to the analytical chart first. So, as you can see, after yesterday's bullish rally, I mean a very strong bullish rally that made over 670 pips of the daily range, today the market was basically in a sideways consolidation. Yeah, it did make a higher high than yesterday. So the market went all the way up to around, the highest was probably somewhere around 11,200 even. Yeah, 11,200 with a little bit of plus. And yeah, and then it happened on the opening of the Frankfurt session, that between the opening of the Frankfurt session and the London session, that it made the higher high. And from the beginning of the London session, it started going down and making a little bit of a comeback or a retest. But basically, as we can see, the whole market was it made this movement and then it stopped and it started retracing back up, and yeah, and sort of came back to the Dada's pivot point right here, and kind of first it was showing some kind of a tendency, perhaps a tendency, or even some kind of a demand zone right here, but it all of a sudden the market stopped, and there was a series of very small candles and very small volatility, and by the end of the day it turned around and made a new daily low. Now this kind of a market is not very comfortable to trade. However, it also wasn't so bad. Basically the ATRs on the M15, right? Right here, where I was trading, it was pretty high. It was like 50 pips, right? And later on, it dropped down a bit, and by the end of the day, it even right there, it dropped down to 20 pips. Well, this characteristic of the market was specific because the individual 5-minute candles were moving pretty quickly sometimes, and it was pretty easy to take somewhere around 5-10 pips, maybe even 12 pips, right, or 15, but also uncomfortable because many times the movements were pretty quick without any structures. So even going down to the 1-minute chart, it was still not giving the typical structures that we like to use for our trades. Anyways, when I came to work, first of all I had to measure out the market, so that was a pretty easy thing to do right here. I mean, I could have measured like this, or even like this, right? And basically this was even the best context for that given moment, because basically everything fits pretty nicely. So we changed down to a M5. Perhaps no. This isn't. Sorry. Now I've just noticed something. This one isn't a good one because I can only measure it like this, because this is where I reach the top. Now I can I can adjust this measurement on the M5 to the current situation, right? And basically, when I came to the market, the current situation was somewhere around here. So I had to. What's happening right now? Oh, I'm not on this right. Sorry, I'm not on my analytical chart. I was on my trading chart. So this is my analytical chart now. Yeah. So now I have to look at the situation right there and right there, and I have to adjust because basically in the beginning I had to adjust like this, to this situation right here, and then at the next moment I have to adjust like this, right? Now the next important thing is the ATRs, but basically I was because the ATR at this moment was so high, I was basically figuring out that the market basically should be moving down, and that the market should make my expected pips, because I was looking at it more like this. So no, this is the consolidation, this is the breakout now, and that's where I entered short. Let me show you. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I entered short, but I was counting on even more pips than that, because I think I measured it out like this. But what happened? Basically, you see, these candles are pretty large. So basically, I got 5 pips there. But come on. If we measure it out, then at the maximum point there was a bit over 15 pips, right? So the market was already away 15 pips from my price, so I figured out I should put my trading stop right there. So I moved my trading stop, and still the market moved back and took out my trading stop. Well, nevertheless, because what's important right here, you see, of course, that's the thing that we cannot know, right? We cannot know what will happen in just a moment, and in just a moment later, there was this sideways consolidation right there. And this sideways consolidation, you see, it's relatively small. If we look at the previous ones were bigger, right? Were bigger in range, or wider in range. And this one all of a sudden was very narrow. Now, if we, but that we can only know that after the fact, not before the fact, because if we adjust the zone to the new consolidation, right? If we adjust the zone to the new consolidation, then all of a sudden we get we get the proper range, right? All of a sudden we get the proper range, because this little consolidation right there, it simply changed the characteristic of the market. So the market became sort of slower, right? Let's say, sort of like that. Either slower or perhaps different in range. So the previous expected range was not in the right context. Yeah. And as we can see, the market then turned around and made this quick rally upwards. So of course, when the market is doing this rally upwards, I don't have any other chance. I don't have any other choice but to watch it, because there are no structures that I can use to enter. So basically, what happened next was that the market turned around, and then when the market turned around, then I can make a measurement in the opposite direction, right? Come on. just stay there. Okay. So I can make a measurement in the opposite direction, right? So that's where the market turned around, or perhaps it was it was right there. So then I can start measuring the consolidations. So yeah, I was sort of looking at it more or less like this, right? But I was sort of looking at it like this at the beginning, and you can see that I was trying to go in long right here. Perhaps I wasn't exactly measuring it out like this when I was deciding to get in long right here. I think I was measuring it like this. I was taking it to this level. Yeah, I was taking it to this level right there and trying to go long, I think. Yeah, like this, right? So I was trying to go long in this fashion, but I also figured out that I would put my stop loss, move my stop loss from there to right below this line. But the market, you see, this almost 13 pips was on one candle, right? On one M5 candle. So we see many candles, but we see that the height of one candle is relatively large, and that's what gave me this 12 pips. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with a result of 12 pips, 12, 13. So and the market wasn't kind of again, it wasn't moving, behaving in the proper way. I mean, it didn't show immediate, let's say, action, right? So I figured out that I always move my. So I try to move my stop loss to some kind of break-even plus, and so I figured out that at this moment it's better to take 12 pips than to get taken out at my trailing stop again, which would have happened, right? So I got those pips, but then I also realized that after a moment, after this next action right there, I realized that the market is basically in a consolidation. So, and that this consolidation is basically from here all the way up to there, right? Or even up to here after these candles. So after seeing these candles right there, I realized that actually the market has fallen into this consolidation that is pretty wide, right? So perhaps it wasn't exactly at that moment, because it was at that moment, and at that moment I was also having a conversation with one of my friends, and we were thinking about whether it's going to be a long or a short. So if the market is going to continue upwards or is going to go down. Well, I said it's pretty difficult to figure out what's happening in such a consolidation, because we have a resistance level from the top where the market is obviously bouncing off a resistance, and then at the bottom there are demand structures of demand building up, right? Because from the bottom, from the lows, the trend is up, but from the highs the trend is practically neutral, right? So I saw this little situation right there where the price was moving upwards very quickly after this bounce, So I thought to myself, okay, this is a good opportunity, and practically the same levels, right? So I entered along, and again the same thing happened like before. You see that the price moved pretty quickly upwards, but then stopped, and again I was faced with the dilemma: close or wait. I decided to close because I was exactly afraid of this the potential of building of this pullback right there, right? And we still don't know at this moment whether the market is going up or down. You see that basically the market decided to go up exactly right here on this candle, right? And it made a quick move all the way up there. So basically here is what everything fit. Now I was looking at this and I thought to myself, because after this action right here, I was thinking, well, maybe it's a short, maybe it's a long. We still don't know. So, and the markets really slowed down. I mean, really slowed down. Relatively, it almost stopped moving. Relatively, because of course, if we could look at for example, maybe a tick chart or a very, very small chart, a few seconds or 1 second or whatever, then we might see some structures, we might see some opportunities for trading. But right here, I mean, all we could see right here is that the price is moving very slowly, but supporting, right? Supporting, so finding some support. That's why I decided to get in for another long right here. And I was basically thinking of I was thinking like this. Well, it just might happen that the market will jump up, but after two candles, and on the price action on the third candle, I figured out, no, I'm getting out of it. I mean, 4-5 pips, whatever. That's a good result. So I'm out. And we can see that the price actually went up a little bit more, but not much. And it found exactly resistance at the Dada's pivot level. So I went back to my analytical charts, and I said, okay, at this moment, this is pretty obvious. I mean, especially after this candle right here. I mean, it was on the it was even on the M5, so it was pretty obvious. It was like this, right? So at this moment, it was like this. Now all we have to do is just figure out what the possibilities are here, and basically, we didn't know that until this candle, this long candle right here, happened. So basically, there were two options for measurement here. One option was like this. Yeah, one option was like this, and another option was to take the whole consolidation all the way to down here, and then trade this price action right here from one line to the other line. So basically, I mean, I didn't take a trade but I was thinking about it right here. I was thinking about it. I said to myself, well, maybe find a good candle. Basically, this was the good candle. You see that all the levels are fitting right here. So basically, the only thing is that it would be pretty difficult to get in right here. Perhaps it would be difficult to get. I mean, it would be possible to get in after this candle and on the pullback right there. So the best price wouldn't be available, but some pretty good price was still available. and then there was like 30 pips perhaps, or something like that. Yeah, 30 pips, exactly 30 pips. You can also see that I've added to my tool measurements right here. So these measurements, these numbers are showing the distances between the lines and points. That's the first value, and the second value is the distance from the zero line to every line, yeah, to the specific line. Okay. So basically, even though the day wasn't so clear today, I mean, it wasn't trending, and perhaps it could have been a pretty difficult trading day for some people. It turned out to be pretty good for me, 4 out of 4, and relatively good profit results right here. So I'm basically satisfied. Okay, so that's it for today's daily recap. Please like, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please join my Discord server where I stream all my trades every day during the London session and during the American session. You can talk to me, on the Discord. We can talk, or we can simply chat in text. So please feel invited. And also, if you can, please become my patron on patreon.com Dadas Trading System Workshop. The link is below. For just as little as $17 per month, you can get the VIP role on my Dadas Trading Room on Discord, and you'll get lots and lots of benefits. You can also get this indicator, but you need to be my patron then. Okay, thanks a lot for today. I hope you're all well. I mean, I know the governments are loosening a little bit, but yeah, perhaps restarting the economy slowly. But please still be careful. Wash your hands and yeah, sanitize and take care. Okay, thanks a lot again, and see you tomorrow. Bye.